Fantasy football junkies, you are tuned in to the #1 source for fantasy prognostication. It's Testosterone Fantasy Sports with your hosts, Jeff and Jesse. So listen up. Here's your chance to gain the edge over the competition and dominate your fantasy football league. Every week we break down all of the matchups and tell you who to play as well as who should ride the pine. This is the joint that every fantasy junkie needs, so check it out!
Welcome one and all to Testosterone Fantasy Sports. I'm your host Jeff with you as always, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the Week 9 edition of Testosterone Fantasy Sports, a very exciting episode we have today, and I'd like to rejoin my best friend and the other half of the Testosterone crew. Jesse is back.
I am back. It's great to be back. I have beamed in, come down from the mothership. I was abducted by aliens for the past couple weeks, Jeff. They exposed me to many numerous tests, and most recently was the chicken pox, which I know you're deathly afraid of, dude. But I'll try to stay on this side of the stage.
It's good to see you, bro.
It's great to be back.
Let's have a little fist pound here.
Gotta do it.
You know, as we get going here, I got the little rah-rah speech for us. You know, we're going to go out there, we're going to do our best in-game, and you got to get me pumped up, Jesse. What's the name of this show?
The name of this show is Testosterone Fantasy Sports, right here on MCN6, your local cable access provider. We do this show, Jeff. It's a labor of love, and we do it because we want to help the junkies out there dominate their fantasy football league.
Yeah, that's right. And not only that, but we like being on TV. You know, we ain't going to lie about that. It's something that we really enjoy doing. When we run into people out there, it really makes our day. So speaking of which, I got a little shout out for some of the junkies. Johnny Glenn, Baby Lucifer, been on there several times.
Nice.
At the end of every show, we do the Fat Chat, and we'd like to welcome everybody to go on after this show airs onto testosteronesports.com. Type it in, go on there, log in, go on to the Fat Chat, and you'll see myself on there. Jesse will be on there.
That's
Yeasty,
right.
who's going to be joining us a little bit later, he'll be on there. There's some other friends who show up. Help me out. Milky might come on. We got to have Milky on. Bryant likes to join. Sean
Cabbage
Fredericks
pops in there from time to time.
Yeah, Vince Barrett, you know, we've got a nice crew in there, and we're basically bouncing things off of each other to find out who's a good play, who's a good guy to sit. When the bye weeks are going on, it's the bye-pocalypse right now, and although we're coming toward the end of the byes, finally, it's important to know who to play. So join us on the chat.
The other thing that's really cool about testosteronesports.com is if you don't catch the show on MCN6, we basically re-air the entire show on the website, so you can go on there on a weekly basis, check the show out there. If you hop in late, if this is your first time seeing the show and you're not going to be able to stick around for the rest or whatever the case may be, you can see the entire show every single week posted through the magic of television on your computer, on your home computer. And we bring it every single week, bringing knowledge, helping you dominate your fantasy football league. We're just a couple of rubes that started this show 4 years ago because we love fantasy and we love the Vikings, Jeff, and that's what we are dedicating the first episode or the first segment of our show, basically every week, dedicated to the purple.
Hey Travis, you're calling me on the show, man. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not gonna be able to help, get you what you need right now. But I want to let you know, dude, that my cousin thinks you're hot, and she'll let you just do whatever. So give her a call, man. I'll let you know the number after the show, man. So take it easy.
What?
Travis Henry calling me, dude.
Travis Henry
Sorry,
calling
I had to take a second or two for my buddy Travis. He's preparing to have a little early off season for Travis Henry. But this is Testosterone Week 9. We hope that all your teams worked through the bye-pocalypse very well. I've been doing pretty good as far as that goes. I know you had a pretty good run through. But as far as everything goes, it's time for the purple segment, Jesse. And I was at the game this past weekend, and man, it's just not getting any better, and there's really no end in sight, bro.
It's pretty gut-wrenching right now to be a purple fan. I mean, essentially every Monday morning we wake up, and it's like that haze starts to lift, and it's this familiar feeling of I've seen this before. it's another week where we're calling for more of Adrian Peterson. It's another week where the coaching staff has made some glaring blunders, especially in this game, Jeff, the misuse of the challenges. I mean, come on, Brad Childress and company, it's time to step up to the plate. You're getting paid professional money to be a professional coach, and I'm done pulling punches with this regime here, Jeff. Our team is floundering.
Yeah, it sure seems like that. You know, I don't understand how they think that they're going to be able to produce on a winning level without any real good leadership on the field. It just doesn't seem like that. Usually, you know, you want that from your quarterback position. We don't have that, you know, and their best quarterback, Kelly Holcomb, would be a third quarterback for most teams. Started the game, got hit, neck injury. He came out, so they put Brooks Bollinger in there. And yeah, it made me want to puke, you know.
We joked about this in the off-season, Jeff, telling everybody that, plain and simple, if Brooks Bollinger becomes the starting quarterback for this squad, we were seeing a 4-12 or maybe even 3-13 type of a campaign. Now here it is, midway point of the season. Bollinger did look okay in a little bit of time last week against Philadelphia, basically coming in relief. But realistically, Bollinger, 6'1", weighs about 200 pounds, not a big guy, not a strong arm. Our receiving core has a lot of issues, and with Bollinger at the helm, I think we're going to see, you know, 9 guys in the box all day long, everybody keying on AP. And this week, a tough foe coming to town, the San Diego Chargers, who are looking very super. I'm worried that we're going down big time.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You know, it makes it easy for other defenses to scheme for us when we really only have one good offensive weapon, and that's Adrian Peterson. Obviously, Chester Taylor is probably our second good offensive weapon, yet he doesn't get on the field at the same time very often. And then they take those guys out of the game by only running them. Zach and I last week, we talked about getting the ball to our receivers out on the flat a little bit more, using the check down, a la Jeff Garcia and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. None of that's happening. We talked a little bit about using the wide receivers in the short patterns. Since our quarterbacks don't have much of an arm, at least the 3-yard route seems to work. Why aren't we, you know, loosening up the defense that way?
How about a screen pass
every now and then?
You know, I mean, Chester Taylor is a good receiver out of the backfield. Adrian Peterson has good hands as well. Let's use these 2 offensive weapons to keep our opponents guessing. It just doesn't seem like the offense is very innovative. I know it's supposedly a kick-ass offense, but all I've really seen is our offense get its ass kicked. And I'm starting to get kind of pissed off here because the Eagles game was a game that early on in the game, it looked like we drove down the field, scored a touchdown on the first possession.
Typical of the Vikings.
As we do every single week. It looked like we were in a position where we could possibly take control of the game like we did against Dallas. But as the game continues to press on every single week, it just seems, Jeff, like our skill position players are overmatched and our coaching staff is too.
Yeah, that's exactly what it seems like to me. And, you know, I was really impressed by the onside kick that they surprised the Eagles return team with. That was a good coaching call to me. You know, that was Brad Childress stepping outside of the box for a minute, and it worked well. Of course, then the vaunted defensive coordinator from the Philadelphia Eagles threw a couple blitzes, and our quarterback, Kelly Holcomb, finds himself in the turf, picking himself up off the carpet. And then the biggest problem for us, in my opinion, from the coaching staff is a failure to be able to make adjustments.
Exactly.
And it's just not working out. So.
And in a lot of cases, I feel like our personnel is being misused. I mean, our running game, we have this huge hulking left side of our offensive line. Bryant McKinney is playing very uninspired football right now. I mean, he's not moving his feet, and it makes me think that the West Coast system maybe not suiting him to the best of his abilities. He's a road grading type of a tackle. I don't understand why we're not just bowling ahead with him on the left side of the line, getting him to where he's doing something that he's capable of doing, whereas right now we've got him in pass protection. He looks lost out there.
Yeah, he allowed a lot of pressure in that game from that side. He matched up against Javon Curse, which isn't an easy matchup, but at an older age, Curse isn't what he used to be.
Right.
And then he allowed a couple of sacks. One of them was very ugly, like McKinney was more thinking about, you know, what snack he was going to have on the sideline, you know, than keeping Curse out of the grill of our quarterback. So it's been a tough situation for us. You know, defenses can scheme for Adrian Peterson, but the kid is still doing very well, lighting up the league. He's obviously the player that everybody loves to cheer for, and at 18.3 attempts per game, all they really need to do, in my opinion, is throw the ball to him a few times. He's carrying the ball at a 5.8 yard average, which is fantastic. And that's going to continue.
Right.
Even with 8 in the box, if we had some semblance of a passing game, it would lighten up, and he would pop a touchdown in every game almost.
Yeah, I mean, we told you this was coming. We knew that he had this kind of skill. At the midway point in the season, he leads the league in rushing, 740 yards, and he's been doing that in the Joseph Adai role, where he hasn't even been the starter, even though he was clearly the better player in this backfield. Now we're just coming out of Winter Park that he is going to be the starter. They're gonna give him the ball even more. I want to know from you, Jeff, do you think that's a product of Brad Childress and this coaching staff really starting to feel some pressure that, hey, maybe if they don't win some games in the second half, they might not be around next year?
Well, with the way that we've been kind of throwing away our timeouts, this is another game in the series of like 3 games this season where we've had the ability to tie or win the game at the end, but haven't had the timeouts to stop the clock. In this game, we were on the ball. We completed a pass. Unfortunately, we got tackled inbounds, and with 10 seconds to go, our team looked again disheveled, and Brad Childress, while the time clicked down, just pointing like this, like get on the ball, run another play. No plan for that. They weren't looking forward to the possibility of winning the game at the end. And I just think that for a guy who's the great organizer, and Jesse, remember when he was hired, he has the biggest coaching staff in the NFL.
Right.
So that's the most ineptitude in the history of the league, I guess. I just don't know what else to say. I'm concerned, very much about the leadership. I don't want to see, because our defense has to be on the field so much, I don't want to see the injuries start to mount up for a veteran-laden team. I don't want to see Adrian carry the ball too much in his rookie season and then therefore get injured. I'm nervous about that. And if the ownership of the team isn't thinking right now about making a change in the offseason, then that speaks volumes to me about the direction of the team, which way we're going, because there's good coaches out there.
Right.
I'm ready for the Cower campaign to begin now.
Right. And
Marty Schottenheimer, anybody would be better.
Yeah, and the one thing that I will say is a positive from this situation that does tell me that, maybe Childress still has this team under his wing is that we have not seen the offense and the defense become divisive against one another. We haven't seen the Antoine Winfield comments coming out there calling out the quarterback position or saying, why didn't you bring in a veteran quarterback in the offseason? We haven't seen the team implode yet, and I'm certainly crossing my fingers and hoping that that doesn't happen. But I'm beginning to wonder, another 2 or 3 or 4 more losses. Some of these guys might start to crack a little bit here.
Well, I mean, at this point, it almost seems like, what can they do? If they speak out, it really kind of just adds fuel to the fire. And although they would be right, Antoine would be right, Darren Sharper, these guys, they don't have forever in this league.
Right.
And their talents are being wasted, in my opinion. And it makes me sad for these players who we are very affectionate for, because their ability, and our team, our defense is ready to make a Super Bowl run. And our offensive line is ready for that. Our running game is ready for that. We are just missing a quarterback, wide receiver, and no passing game. And again, this game was easily winnable with some semblance of a passing game.
So what do you think about Donovan McNabb maybe coming here in the offseason?
That would be an interesting thing to see. I would definitely be down for that. Although until I see Santa Claus come down the chimney, I'm not going to believe in the Jolly Fat Man. So I just think that it's tough right now. We'll see what happens. But one thing that was interesting was while I was at the game on Sunday, I was there with my little boy Isaac. I ran into Brad Childress' top advisor. And
really?
Yep, I got a picture of him, so I'd like to show it everybody. You could throw it up there, Alex. And there he is, busy with in-game management.
that explains things right
that
there.
That explains a lot. So.
That's like 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor.
Yeah, right.
Essentially.
Let's throw the ball to the defense some more.
Exactly. So we hope that guy resigns, or we hope that Childress fires him. Obviously, that is a big source of our problems.
Yeah. So anyway, we'd like to thank you all for joining us again. This is week 9. This is the purple segment. It is in the book. We are going to go to break right now, come back, and Yeasty in the house. And Jesse, again, glad to have you back, bro.
Good to be back.
We'll be right back after these messages.